I'd like to call the September 3rd, 2013 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Mrs. Butler, would you please take the roll?
Florence. Here. Mumgard. Gaines. Here. Glover. Here. Jaworski. Here. Klug. Here. Stubbe. Here. Ingberg. Here.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
That is correct.
And a current copy of the Open Meeting Act is posted in the City Council chambers. For anybody in the audience that is thinking they might want to speak as a proponent or opponent on anything, we do have a form in the back as you come in. If you wouldn't mind in advance filling that out, it'll help us in keeping to the minutes that we get right spellings of names and that type of thing. I'll remind you again when you come up, but if you do want to do that, that would help us out. I don't think we have any presentations. Mr. Hoynes, Administrator's Report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Last Wednesday, Todd Arney, our chief building official, met with representatives from the city of La Vista and I believe the city of Ralston, along with the Metro Transit folks to discuss proposed changes to making a more efficient route. Late Friday afternoon, actually too late to get into the council packets, Metro did respond with some proposed preliminary changes. We, City of Papillion, has not had time to discuss those with the other cities, Metro, or probably more importantly, the riders. But I did email those to you just late this afternoon, so you should have them in your email, the initial proposal. I tell you that because you're going to be voting later on that particular issue to let you know that there is ongoing dialogue and there will probably continue to be ongoing dialogue. When you have that consideration, if you have any questions, you can certainly ask, but that was late Friday afternoon, the reason it wasn't in your packets. We did, Mr. Mayor and council members, receive our health care increases. You've heard the mayor and even myself often refer to health care as the third largest city budget that we have in government. We were able to get a 5% increase, which was fairly reasonable, we thought. It started out a little higher, but as you're well aware, we bid our insurance every year competitively on the market, and it came in higher, and when we had discussions about a potential lower bidder, it actually was advantageous to us, and most of the 5% increase surrounds issues with the Affordable Health Care Act, things that are with the new health care that's going to be in place, drugs that need to be covered and things of that nature. So that's a majority of the 5%. So we will be executing another contract. We're currently at Blue Cross Blue Shield for another year and continue to do that with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Finally, Mr. Mayor, the League Conference is in eastern Nebraska this year, the League Municipalities. It starts October 9th. It's in La Vista at the Convention Center. If you're interested in attending, please let Nicole know. You can register for partial conferences and certain sessions, so we have all that information. If you're interested, it might be a good chance without taking a lot of time out of your regular work week and other duties to attend a league conference. So that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Gaines. Second by Councilman Florence. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote. Mr. Ingberg.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item F1, Resolution R13-0145, a resolution to amend the master fee schedule to amend the Emergency Medical Services EMS Transport section to add a fire inspection section and to reflect the setting of library rates by the Library Board. The revenue from the master fee amendments are included in the proposed 2013-14 budget. So if for any reason this motion gets amended, it will affect the budget. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R13-0145? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Glover. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is F2, Ordinance 1671, an ordinance to amend the budget statement to be termed the annual appropriations bill, which was adopted on June 4th, 2013 by ordinance number 1668 to appropriate sums for necessary expenses and liabilities and to provide for an effective date. This is in relation to the current year budget, and this is a continuation of the public hearing from last council meeting. So we'll continue the public hearing. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? I'll close the public hearing. Do we have a motion to approve ordinance 1671? Motion by Councilwoman Klug. Second by Councilman Florence. Council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Now we'll move to next year's budget. Item F3, Ordinance 1672, an ordinance to adopt the budget statement to be termed the annual appropriation bill to appropriate sums for necessary expenses and liabilities and to provide for an effective date. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1672? Motion by Councilwoman Klug. Second by Councilman Stube. I'll call for council discussion, but we do have a series of 6 amendments. So if there's no discussion on the general motion, I'm going to move to the request for the amendments, work through each of those, and then at the end we'll have the original motion as amended, and we can pick up the council discussion if that makes sense. So, excuse me. The first is item 1A, a motion to approve the 1% increase to the LID, the Restricted Funds Authority. This is a routine item we do every year, but it does require a supermajority of the council. So is there a motion to approve the 1% increase to the LID? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilman Stube. Any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion to amend passes. The next motion to amend is item 2A, motion to approve an amendment to reduce real and personal property tax based on the final certified valuation from Sarpy County in order to maintain the current levy for a total property tax request of $6,084,480. Again, a routine motion each year. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilman Gaines. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. The next 4 are the non-routine ones that are specific to this year. Item 3A, a motion to approve an amendment to carry over $1,660,000 expenditure of SID 272 for the partial annexation. $215,000 expenditure for the traffic signal is outlined in the annexation agreement of SID 272, and the cost to issue the related bond of $25,000 and bond revenue of $1.9 million. Do we have the motion? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Florence. Any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is 4A, a motion to approve an amendment to increase non-resident library fees by $6,875 to be directed to part-time library wages. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Councilman Gaines. Second by Councilman Stube. Any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote. Mr.
6 yeas, 1 nay. Nay by Councilmember Ingberg.
Motion passes. Next is item 5A, a motion to approve an amendment to fund public transportation provided by Metro by adding $7,500 to the general fund budget. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilman Stube. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Do we have proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item 6A, a motion to approve an amendment to remove consulting fees in the amount of $10,000 from the library budget. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Councilwoman Klug. Second by Councilman Glover. Any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
So all 6 motions to amend pass. So now we will vote on the original motion as amended 6 times. So please vote on the original motion as amended to approve 1672.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item F4, Resolution R13-0105, a public hearing and a vote. A resolution to approve setting the 2013-2014 property tax request, and that's in support of the budget that was just approved. This is a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing. Do we have proponents? Do we have any opponents? Close the public hearing. Do you have a motion to approve Resolution R13-0105? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Any council discussion? Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is F5, Resolution R13-0138, a resolution to approve a notice of termination of membership to the League Association of Risk Management, LARM, effective September 30th, 2014. Do we have a motion to approve Resolution R13-0138? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Ingberg. Do we have proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is F6, Resolution R13-0140, a resolution to approve a memorandum of understanding with the Papillion Rec Organization Pro. They want to speak on this item, and they had a conflict, and they're not able to be here tonight, so they are requesting that we table the item to the next council meeting. So is there a motion to table Resolution R13-0140 to the September 17, 2013 council meeting? Motion by Councilman Gaines, second by Councilwoman Klug. Please vote.
Seven yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is committee reports. I believe public facilities met tonight. Anything to report there? Mr. Glover.
Yes, Mayor. We're hoping that by the next meeting we'll have a resolution in front of the City Council in terms of renaming Triangle Park. So hopefully by the next meeting we'll have that in place. So.
Very good, thank you. And just for people who are watching this, if they're hearing that for the first time, last council meeting, Councilman Ingberg and Gaines had brought that suggestion up. So thank you for taking that request. I don't believe any other committees have met. Any comments from the floor? No comments from the floor. Any council comments? Quiet group tonight. Just a few updates from the last couple of weeks. Attended an employee recognition picnic sponsored by the Personnel Committee. Was able to recognize folks for years of service and a couple of new employees and a couple of changes in assignments. I also moderated a town hall meeting that Congressman Lee Terry had at the library, so thanks for hosting that. We had an overflow crowd there. Attended the Terra Plaza Business Association. They had an anniversary event. People are not aware. That was one of the first business associations that came together, independent businesses that came together to promote themselves as an official organization. So they're doing quarterly events up there, and that was a good fundraiser they did. Also participated in Allegiant Foundation's Partner in Health event. I think the full council, it was the entire council, myself, most of the staff attended the community celebration. Thank you for doing that. I've heard a lot of comments from the community of how they appreciated that event, and us just saying thanks. Special thanks to the staff. If people are not aware, that whole event came together in about 10 days from initial idea to actually doing it. So big thanks to the staff, big thanks to the school district and the music programs. Just before council meeting at your chairs, I handed out a spreadsheet that's 3 pages long with a bunch of cities listed. This is just more for your reference. If people ask about the Money Magazine ranking and kind of where we've been and how we are in relation to other cities, that's a look over the last decade. So the last 5 times the ranking's been given since 2005, it's 167 cities have been in the top 50 during that time frame, and that's the full list. And it's pretty much in a stack order. the more times and the higher you've been, the higher up you are on that list. And I think it's important to note on that list, there's only 2 cities that have been recognized all 5 years or in full 10 years, Louisville, Colorado, and Papillion. So give you a little more context of that ranking and where other cities fall. So again, thank you for that. Attended a Papillion Days Appreciation Lunch. The foundation just wanted to say thanks to city staff and thanks to the police department for for providing that space. Mr. Hoynes and I just today met with Fred Huey from the county and County Commissioner Don Kelly to talk about some cooperative areas, specifically around 911 and a couple of other areas we might be able to cooperate on. And then a reminder, October 9th is the league conference. Any other council comments? Do we have motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Stube. Please vote. Mr. Stube.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
We are adjourned with a budget.